Hi everybody, welcome back to the Why Kim YouTube channel. Subscribe, ring the bell, and comment down below. Tonight's topic is going to be around the principle of fairness and justice and equality. Now, before we get right into all these terrible things with it, what I'm going to put forward is more of a left-wing view, you could say. We can touch on the right-wing arguments at another stage. But for now, even if you are a right-wing person, just listen to the argument and see if the validity of the argument rings true for you. And if you believe in equality, fairness and justice, the left-wing person, let's see what you think about it. Okay, I just want to get straight into it. It's a thought experiment. We make these thought experiments to then determine whether we can bring them into our real political world. So this is a political thought experiment to see if it can make sense and be valid and maybe make things better in regards to fairness and justice. Imagine that there is 4 or 5 of you, 4 or 5 people. They're all in a spaceship. They're above the Earth, orbiting the system around the Earth. They can see the Earth right there. They're watching it and looking at it. It's their home. It's their community. Now, these 4 or 5 people have now been given the power to change the political system when they go back to this planet. Our home, our community, their home, their community. They now have the political power to change the system and make it as fair and just and equal as possible as it can be. They can change everything, every law, every political policy. But before the 5 or 6 of them, these people in the spaceship outside the Earth looking at their home, before they make these decisions about what will be the best way for everybody to live together fairly, a curveball is delivered to them. And this curveball is, before you all go back down to your home, back down to this Earth that you're looking at and you love so much, before you go there, and we send you back, know one thing, and that is, you are not going to understand, you are not going to know, you will have no knowledge of the future, you will have no idea what class you will be born into, be thrown into, what world, what community you will have to be raised in. You will not know whether you're going to be born and raised in the ghetto, in the slums. You will not know and have no idea whether you're going to be born and thrown into and raised in a family of lawyers and doctors who love you and care for you and give you everything you need. You will not know, you have no idea whether you might be born into the royal family. You do not know which class you're going to be thrown into when you get back to Earth, when you get back to your home that you're looking at and you love so much. Before you go back to this Earth, and before the 5 or 6 of you make this important decision about fairness and about justice, you have to know this. How will you set up the political system when you're not sure what class you will be in? You're not sure where you'll grow up. Now, as the argument runs, And if you have not checked out one of my latest episodes on the syllogism and logic, check that out, and it will help you make sense of this argument. This American political philosopher, who I think put the book out in the 1980s, states that this argument is logically valid. And that is the main central point I want to get the YChem viewers to understand is, if you are not sure about where you'll end up when you go to this planet, when you go to this earth of yours, if you're not sure and have no idea about where you're going to start your life, if you're going to have to start it in the slums with no family and no chance in life, the American political philosopher states that you must choose, and it only is logically inferred from the argument. You will make sure that the political system is set up in a way in which makes it as just and as fair and as equal as possible, because you do not want yourself. You're putting yourself in the empathetic shoes of what could happen to you when you fly back down from the spaceship back to Earth, back to this planet that's yours. You could end up in that situation. So you're going to think twice when having to make this decision between the 5 or 6 of you about how to set up this political system. How are we going to set up the communities? If all 5 or 6 of us are unsure about where we'll end up, it's like a lottery. Whether I'll be rich, or I'll be poor, or I'll be black, or I'll be white, or I'll be brown, or Latino. We just don't know between the 5 or 6 of us. So as the argument runs, it's only logically, deductively valid that we will all decide between the 5 or 6 of us to set up the best political system, the most fair, the most equal, just in case I'm one of the people out of this 5 or 6 that has to start off the short end of the stick with nothing. So then I've got the most opportunity in my life. YChem viewers, tell me what you think of this argument. The left-wing YChem viewers, tell me what you think of this argument. The right-wing YChem viewers, tell me what you think of it. How will you set up this system, this political system? If that's the choice, if that's what's been put to you before you go back to Earth in your spaceship, how will you set up this system the most fairly, the most equal, the most just? How will you do it? Just in case it's you that has to start from the bottom. Now we take this thought experiment, which I know sounds a bit strange about a spaceship outside the Earth, looking at it, looking at our home, but we take this thought experiment and we gather the rules of the argument that we've put forward, and now we bring it back to reality, now, into our political communities. And we ask ourselves, in my view, what kind of world do you want to live in? A world in which this system is set up so that if it is you that has got the short end of the stick, you'll have the best opportunities to move on with your life, the best help. YChem community, tell me what you think of this.